and I'm going to get started. So, welcome to you all. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited to give you a glimpse into what the Soul Care Labs will be like if you've never experienced them. They are an opportunity to learn about and engage in spiritual practices and disciplines with others because doing them with other people hits differently, right? And I think it makes it more fun. Ah, Williamsburg, Virginia, Ellen. God bless you. The humidity is not I'm not a fan, but I've heard it's beautiful, and I'm just glad that you're here. All right. So many of you, all of you, hopefully, came here today because you're interested in what a soul care lab experience is like, or you've experienced it and you want to just get a fun little mini taste. The first series that we're going to do, the first round of soul care labs, is going to be 4 sessions. It's going to be every other week. And I will always do a check-in time, kinda like what we did, see how people's, week did, just in case you're coming in with something heavy that you just want some support in and want to be seen and just it's not gonna be a therapy group, obviously, but that you just need to tell somebody, like, "This is what's going on in my life today." Um, and then I'll start by introducing a spiritual practice or discipline. And then I guide you through it, and we have some personal reflection time over the experience, and then we'll come back together for a group sharing time. And you'll never be required or forced to share anything, but this last part is, I think, the special sauce of the Soul Care Lab. Because we can all do spiritual practices on our own, and we can all personally, individually reflect on how we experience that practice. But the opportunity to share um, as without being forced, and just as we feel led, how we experience God in the practice. It not only helps solidify the experience that we just had in the practice, it often impacts other people positively as well. I know I have gained so much from hearing people's experiences of the practice. It's inspiring and it introduces me to a different kind of awe at what I see God doing in someone else's life. So it's not just awe about what God is doing in my life. There's something that opens up in us when we get to share the awe we experience with God and the awe we experience when we see God working in other people's lives. So today's practice is going to be breath prayer. And I recently posted about this practice. It's one of my favorites. I like to call it my gateway practice because this tiny little practice kind of helped me start small and unleashed all these other amazing practices that I really found challenging to do because as I keep saying, I'm not a routine type of person, but starting small really helped me kind of get an anchor, my foot in the door into finding a rhythm that worked for me. It's pretty basic. It's exactly what it sounds like. Prayers that are coordinated with or attached to our breath as we deeply breathe. But what isn't basic is the effect that it has on us as holistic creatures. So God created us, each of us, by consolidating a mind, a body, and a spirit into a wonderfully unique package, weaving our soul throughout it. It's almost like our soul's like a ribbon tying that package together. And so when we do something with one part of ourselves, it's always going to impact the other parts of it, of ourselves. So when we do breath prayers, we're not only engaging in something that nurtures our spirit, praying, we are also doing something that engages our whole body, breathing. And there's extensive research out there that talks about the powerful impact that deep breathing has on our physiology, slowing down our heart rate and regulating our nervous system. And the neuroscience tells us that when this happens in our body, it also soothes and calms our mind, and by extension, our emotions. And so what happens is you're engaging your whole self in this spiritual practice. But it's not just a spiritual practice. It's also physical practice and a mental practice, right? So it's very, very powerful and has some really wonderful and unique effects. And what I love about breath prayers is that there are so many ways to do them. Like, I am constantly coming up with new breath prayers all the time. And so it's a great practice for people who might struggle to maintain routines like me, or maybe who are creative and crave variety in their discipline or their rhythms. So today I'm going to guide you through one variation, and then I'll give you some time to reflect on it. And then we'll briefly come back and share our experience with it if you like. Obviously, that will have to be via chat today. But of course, when we start the Soul Care Lab sessions, it'll be in Zoom. So we can see each other and we can talk to each other. And after we engage with one another, I'll close this in prayer. All right. Any questions? As I give you a moment for you to type if you have a question, I just want to emphasize two things. If and when your mind wanders, because that is a completely normal thing that human minds do, just gently bring it back to your breath and practice without judgment or condemnation. That last part is really important. So don't beat yourself up going, oh my gosh, my mind wandered again. Just notice it and go, oh, and then bring it back to your breath and your practice. Good. No questions. And then if for some reason the silence is triggering for you and you begin to some distress, extreme distress, just do whatever you need to soothe and ground yourself, whether that's to go step away for a moment, take a walk, get a drink of water. This will be recorded so you can always try it again later. Okay? All right, so here we go. You can just gently close your eyes and begin to take some deep breaths. Just lengthen them, slow them down. And if you want, you can put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. Begin to let your hands rise with your breath in and out. In and out. As you continue breathing, hear this verse from Song of Songs 6:3. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. This verse is often interpreted as an expression of the love relationship between God and us. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. And now, as you inhale, silently pray, I am my beloved. As you exhale, silently pray, and he is mine. Inhaling, I am my beloved. Exhaling, he is mine. Just continue repeating this at your own pace. I am my beloved. He is mine. And now, as you continue breathing deeply, hear God saying to you as you inhale, "You are my beloved." As you exhale, "And I am yours." Inhaling God's voice, "You are my beloved." As you exhale, "I am yours." You are my beloved. I am yours. Just continue repeating that at your own pace. And finally, as you inhale, silently pray, "Be." And as you exhale, pray, "Loved." Inhaling, "Be." Exhaling, "Be." Just continue that at your own pace. Amen. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome, MC. And now just take a moment and reflect on what that experience was like for you. I'm going to throw out some prompts for you to reflect on. And feel free to share your responses if you like in the chat, but of course, no obligation. But first of all, notice, how did your body feel during the prayers? How did your body feel during the prayers? And maybe that sensation or those sensations changed as you progressed through the prayers. How did it change? What thoughts and feelings arose for you during the prayers? What thoughts and feelings arose for you during the prayers? Your thoughts slowed down. Good. Yeah. You felt focused. Yeah. Big part of that is the deep breathing, right? Thank you. What else did you notice in the experience? Were there questions that stirred up for you so your body felt good? Were there any questions that this practice stirred up for you? Oh, yeah, sinking into your couch. Sometimes I like to actually take that sensation and imagine I'm sinking into God's love or uh, or into the arms of God, right? Just sinking into a huge hug of God. And if any questions did arise for you, just I would jot those down and take those into some reflection time a little bit later, maybe journal about them. How did it feel to say those words to God and to hear those words spoken to you from God? How did it feel to say those words to God and to hear those words spoken to you from God? You like changing the words. Hadn't done that before with prayer. Yeah. I know. Intimate. Yes. You started still, then your heart started beating faster during the second prayer. God's voice telling you that you are his love. So good to hear. And a bit hard to receive at first. Yes. So that's what I noticed too. When I was doing it initially, I was like, oh, that feels kind of weird. But then I was like, but prayer isn't supposed to just be talking to God. It's supposed to be hearing from and listening to God, right? So I recognized like, oh, that is something I'm gonna have to um, kind of press into more is the hearing from God, not just speaking to. So yeah, you felt more grounded, Mason. Is taking you deeper and deeper joy. Thank thank you for sharing those things. Yeah. Um, and so finally, what is a word or phrase that maybe summarizes what you received today or experienced today and why? What is a word or phrase that summarizes what you received or experienced and why? Yes, I totally know that feeling, Patricia. It takes time to stop being distracted. It was a calling to pause. But again, right? You notice that. That's a win. So oftentimes it took me a long time to stop kind of, you know, chiding myself for getting distracted. Because sometimes the reason why we're distracted is God is actually trying to speak to us. So the thing that we think is a distraction might actually be God's voice. So just noticing that and then coming back to the prayer and then also noticing, hey, if God is trying to tell me something, I can hit pause on this practice. The goal of the practice isn't to check it off a box. It's to actually experience God. So if you're experiencing God and God is speaking to you, then you want to listen and pay attention to that, right? And then hit pause on the breath prayer and come back to it, when the time is right. Intimate is a good word. Kept thinking about how God wanted an intimate relationship with the Israelites, and he wants the same with us. Yeah. It's it's what makes our faith unique, right? That intimacy. Affirmation that I'm his beloved. Yes. A gracious invitation to be loved, belovedness. Yes. Yeah. So thank you for sharing all of those. Mm. So I hope you got to kickstart your your Saturday morning with or I don't know if it's afternoon where you are, but late morning maybe, um, with this little practice. Um, let's see. Obviously, the regular sessions are going to be longer. They're going to accommodate longer practices and more discussion and getting to know one another. They'll be an hour long. Um, and if you have any other questions, please do stay on and I'll try to answer them. But for now, I want to honor your time and let me pray a blessing over you and let you go. And then I'll stay on for a few minutes afterwards. All right. Let me bless you with a poem from Krista Hesselink that was inspired by Mary Oliver's poem, Wild Geese. Good question, Martha. How do you enroll in the longer group of sessions? You're already enrolled because you're a paid member. So there's no additional fee for this because I'm just rolling these things out. I'm so grateful that you all would be willing to support me. And so the only thing that you need to do is become a paid member, and that covers your enrollment. And so I'll be sending out emails just to the paid subscribers with more details about launching and and the dates and the times. Hopefully, I'm hoping to shoot for Saturdays. Um, but if that doesn't work, probably I'll do like a doodle poll to schedule it with people who want to join. All right. Great question, Mason. Thanks for sharing your phrase for today. Be with me. Yes. Yes. May we all be with God as we go out today. And here is this blessing. May we have ears to hear the voice of love coming to us in unexpected ways. May we be gentle with ourselves and each other when we feel like we are riding a wave that could drown us. May we allow our softness and vulnerability to rise, and may we pay attention to what truth has to tell us. May we share our despair and listen deeply to the despair of others. May we notice the rhythms of grace found in all living things and receive it all as a gift. May we admit our loneliness, our survivor's guilt, our helplessness, and our overwhelm, while also holding the hope and the truth that somehow everyone and everything belongs in the family of things. May we have eyes to see the profound reality unfolding and the patience to endure its revealing. May we be ones who hark like the wild geese, shouting to each other with love and care that each of us have needs and are needed, and we are in this together. Amen. Blessings, you all. I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks when we start off. It's probably going to be the 30th or somewhere around there. Go in peace. And I'll be here for a couple more minutes. Where that quote is from. It's a poem. I can send out the link. Actually, I'll post it when I post the recording. She's actually in Canada. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. Krista Hesselink. She has a website called Soul Play, and she was reading this poem by Mary Oliver called Wild Geese. And this was a poem that came out as she was reflecting on Mary Oliver's poem. So I thought it was really cool too. And Mary Oliver's poem is also really amazing, but I just felt like Krista's poem kind of fit today's theme of love a little bit more tightly. So, great question. All right. No questions? I know I have to wait. I don't want to like cut anyone off if they're like frantically typing. It's beautiful. Oh, you're welcome, Ellen. I'm so happy to hang with you more too. Oh, well, thanks, Mason. I'm glad. I'm glad. Thanks for getting me started, kick-started. Right. All right. Well, have a great morning. Have a great day and hopefully a great Sabbath. Take care. Lots to catch up on. Yes, Joy. Let's do it. We'll do it on Zoom.